It's Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California, here today to show you how to get off the wall in your handstands once and for all. I know you know me as this great and lovable creature, but we're going to start today with some tough love. Sorry, kids, but if you're always using the wall, you will always use the wall. You cannot learn to get off the wall in a handstand by relying on the wall. And here's the second thing you're not going to want to hear. Even if you're not touching the wall, if you're working in front of the wall, you are using the wall. Psychologically, you can only get off the wall when you are willing to divorce Paul. The wall. Not Paul, your husband, if you have a real husband named Paul. Keep him around, but you gotta get off the wall to get off the wall. I know that sounds super commonsensical, but it's amazing to me how many people do not get that. Now, before I go on, years ago, somebody wrote a comment on my YouTube that said that yada, yada, yada is strong on this one. Some people might have been offended, but it's actually sort of true. So get ready for some talking, guys, because I'm going to be giving you one simple drill to get you off the wall once and for all. But before we do, honestly and truly, if you don't understand the dynamics of what is going on in the pose and what is going on, even more importantly, in your mind, you will be stuck on that wall. So, are you ready to make the commitment to get off the wall forever? Because I'm going to get you there. Okay. So we got past the tough love part, sort of. There's more to come. Why don't we go right back into the rest of the tough love before getting into the not tough love? Because the second part is you got to release your ego. Now, I know you're probably sitting there going, I don't have an ego. I understand. I suck at handstands. I can't balance. Blah, 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 blah. That's not what I'm talking about. Your ego is that part of you that is so attached to the result that judges you by that effort. And that thinks that baby steps are for babies. I'm here to tell you, baby steps are going to take you anywhere you want to go. Not just in yoga, but honestly, in life. But you're going to have to be willing to look foolish for a while. You're going to have to look sort of dumb. In the beginning, it may not look much like a handstand, but I'm going to tell you this. Handstands can take a lot of forms. I'll argue that this is a handstand. I'll argue that this is a handstand, and this is a handstand, and this is a handstand, and I don't know. They're all handstands. Now you might go, oh yes, I want to do that part, the part where the legs are in the air and they're moving and they're up there and I'm brave and I'm free and I'm yoga. I don't want to do that stupid one in the beginning that looked like that. How is that a handstand? Well, it's a handstand because your foot is off the floor and you are balancing on your hands. And quite honestly, when you get off the wall, it's scary. How do I know? Because I had to get off the wall one day, and it scared the living bleep out of me. Family show. You can fill in the blanks. We need to stop worrying about the end result. Stop thinking about what you saw on Instagram or what you saw on Facebook or TikTok or Pinterest or YouTube, unless it's my videos. Pay a lot of attention to those. And certainly don't worry what's going on the cover of Yoga Journal. Okay? Your journey is no one else's journey. And if you're not willing to take those baby steps, it's going to be really, really hard to get to the giant leap that is a full-on handstand in the middle of the room. One more thing, and with me, it's never one more thing. You know about the yada, yada, yada. You got to get past the fear. You have got to get brave. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, I kick up to the wall and then I pull off the wall, and so I'm not afraid. Well, you are afraid. That's why you're in front of the wall. And unless you own your awesome, unless you are willing to believe that you are strong enough, balanced enough, capable enough to do anything you want to do, then Paul's got a hold on you. Get past the fear. Now, my rule when I teach handstands is no flipping. Now, it may seem like a crazy rule, because how can I tell you not to flip when you don't know how to do a handstand in the middle of the room? Of course you're going to lose control. Of course you're going to flip, right? Wrong. You're going to flip when your ego gets in the way of this simple drill that I'm about to show you. Here's the thing, guys. If you continue to kick in the middle of the room as if there is a wall behind you, you're going to flip. You know why? Because there's no wall behind you. Let's talk about the drill. So I set my hands up nice and securely, right? About shoulder's distance or a little wider. My bottom foot pretty close to my hands. Now you're going to have some serious flexibility if you want to rock your handstand. You've got to have open hips, open hams, open shoulders, engaged core. What I'm saying is you need a full-on practice. You know where you can get one? On my Venmo channel. And there's links down in the caption below. Okay, enough of that commercial. With my bottom foot pretty close to my hands, let's say about a foot away, I take my right leg, for my instance, the right leg up into the air. Now you'll see that in order to get my leg as high as possible, a couple things are going to have to happen. Look what happened automatically to my bottom foot. My heel came off the floor. Okay? Because I can't get as high as I can possibly get with a flat foot. I can get as high as I can possibly get on the ball of my foot. Now, the second thing, and you didn't hear this from me, go ahead and open your hip. Now, I know that's so anti-yoga, and we don't like that alignment. And when you get into handstand, you're going to have to square it back off. But what is the benefit of starting off with the open hip? Well, look how high my leg is with the closed hip, and look how high it is with an open hip. Closed hip, open hip. If Dr. Seuss were a yoga teacher, he would say, closed hip, open hip. What do we do with our hips? Open it. Okay. The simple drill is this. With my leg nice and high and on the ball of my foot and my hands pressing into the floor, I look forward, lean into my hands, and see if I can take the tiniest hop, emphasis on the tiniest, and land in the same spot that I started. Tiniest hop, and land in the same spot I started. Now, not only am I landing in the same spot that I started, but I am landing like a feather. How? This is the key to your ultimate control in handstand, quite honestly. The rule in handstand is treat coming down the same way you treat going up. Continue to press your arms down into the floor as if you were pressing up into a handstand. Remember, root and rebound. The more I press down, the more I go up. Continue to lift your top leg as high as it will go, even as you're coming down. Resist, resist, resist gravity. And maintain your core connection. No matter what the question is, the answer is core. We all know that. Unless you watched my last video, which totally negated that, but for a different reason. So watch that because it's worth it. It's about real yoga. Okay, so remember that the heel of my palm, when I press into this part, pushes me that way. My fingertips push me this way. So when I'm going up, when I take my big lean, I'm going to press into my fingertips to stop me from going too far over. But once I leave the floor, I press into the heel of the palm to take me up. My gaze is way forward. I press and come down. Now, how high is this press? And if you need to, you bend your knee and take a little hop. How high am I jumping? A foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, an inch, 2 inches? Keep in mind, if you want to learn how to get to handstand in the middle of the room with safety and control and the no flip method, you need to be thinking, how little energy is it going to take me to get up instead of how much. You're going to learn a lot more about the balancing process by moving small and incrementally into your hops than by taking big hops that are completely out of control and will not establish balance for you. Now, the wall is a great way to learn how to find some balance, but it's not going to teach you how to actually get off the wall. Don't underestimate that psychological connection. So, no flip, but if you feel like you're going to flip, here's the 2 ways you stop it. Press into your fingertips like crazy. Remember, they push you that way. And lift your collarbones and look up like crazy because that's also going to push you that way. Just remember that for every time you flip, your ego got in the way of the process again. So I'm pressing down. Remember, when I go down, press down, I lift up. I'm lifting up. It's more about this top leg lifting than my bottom leg pushing. And I give whatever press I need from my bottom foot to take me off the floor, landing without a sound. And what happens is, why is this the one drill that will take you off the wall forever? And don't worry if everybody else is in a full handstand on the wall while you're working this in the middle of the room. Guess what? You're the one that's being brave. Stick with it. Okay? It's only my ego that's worried that I look stupid because everybody else is in a full handstand. Because guess who's going to be off the wall while they're still hanging on the wall? We're not looking for world wallflowers here, baby. Now, I take my small hops, and as it becomes comfortable, it's going to be a very natural evolution. But you got to keep pressing, pressing, pressing. And you'll notice how the little hops become a little bigger without any more effort, without really changing anything. Now, I'm not coming into my full handstand. Now, I'm considering this a full handstand, guys. My legs may not be vertical, but this is a full handstand. But I got there doing the same exact method. Sorry, I'm getting a little excited here. As the tiny hops. This is a worthwhile exercise. Not just for your handstands, but for your mind, for your self-confidence, and yeah, for your ego. This is Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. For real, check out my Vimeo. Those full-length classes will get you to any pose that you are trying to get into. I don't recommend trying to do just pose by pose yoga. I recommend you vest yourself in a full practice, because yoga was never meant to be about getting into a handstand, but it is about a full holistic approach to how you approach your life to get the challenging things, not just the easy things, in a way that is non-egotistical, that is self-confident, that is kind to yourself, and that builds your patience and your perseverance. You got this. I'll see you soon.